You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
Before we delve into anything, let's get this out straight away. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment on the video, share it with all your friends and family. Say, hey, these guys have an awesome Dolphins podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and we are available on Patreon. You can subscribe. We've got 3 different tiers. We have a whole bunch of stuff on our Patreon page. So we have all of that out of the way. I still haven't come down from the Chargers victory. I am still watching clips. I am still talking about it. I was on the Fins Nation UK podcast. You can check me out on there. Link will be in the description, talking Chargers, talking the next game. Knowing you and how you are, first of all, Charlie, to show you how are you? And 2, how many times have you watched the Chargers game back?
I watched it twice total. It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Kadeem, this is a throwback Marlins hat. This thing is in there. I haven't worn this in years. I ain't going to lie to you. And it's just, I'm looking at it, I'm like, dang, it barely fits, honestly. But like this thing is in there. Kadeem, man. Yeah, so I watched it twice. And yeah, I'm sold, man. I'm sold. And so is DraftKings, because apparently they moved Tua's MVP line from 2,200 plus 2,200 to maybe plus 800.
That's plus 700. Oh,
that's a lot.
I don't know if it's DraftKings, but I saw that he's now the joint favorite to win MVP alongside Patrick Mahomes.
Someone's believing. Somebody believing. You know what I'm saying? You know what I noticed in the watching it back, Kadeem? You forgot that we were playing Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, bro. So not just you, but I think I should say people forgot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, what happened to friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson? Dog had a pretty good game. You know what I'm saying? Like, to not get his name mentioned, not to have their names mentioned. So yeah, man, I'm feeling pretty good about some things right now, bro. Nice hat, by the way.
Thank you very much. I haven't worn this hat in years. Like, it's been in storage, all that kind of stuff. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcast from, I am wearing a Batman a Batman hat cap. I don't know what you guys call it. But yeah,
is it fitted?
It is fitted, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So most people call it a fitted, or if it's not, they just call it a snapback.
Cool. But no, I mentioned Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack on the review episode. Yeah, I mentioned those 2, Derwin James, Joseph Sebastian Day. The fact that, yeah, I think the point was, and I think the clip might be out on Instagram as well, but was that the Dolphins offensive line kept Tua clean up against all those people. I'm glad you mentioned friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson. I've seen some people give him his credit over the past few days. But Charlie, do you remember when it was free agency, last year's free agency, and the Dolphins were looking at offensive line options? And I believe we had a few episodes talking about, should the Dolphins bring in Lyle Collins at right tackle, or to Ron Armstead at left tackle, or a big name left tackle, in free agency. Do you remember kind of where, or not so much where we landed, but where you landed in that topic?
It was 2 years ago. It was 2 off. Hold on. Here's something we got to get right with the years thing, because friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, came on the podcast last year. I know it just seems longer than that, but it was really last year. You know what I'm saying? Um, so when we have this conversation about Lyle Collins, it was 2 off seasons ago. So it wasn't this off season, but it was off season before that. And I wanted Lyle Collins at right tackle because we need a right tackle because Tua is left-handed. And everyone was talking about bringing in Teron Armstead. And for some symmetry, Devontae Parker didn't play week 1 either. For some symmetry. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how these boys just can't stay healthy. And I didn't want that for our O line. So I preferred Lyle Collins. And there was a world where we could have had Lyle Collins and Teron Armstead. And I would have really loved that. You know what I'm saying? Because now Austin Jackson could play left guard and Eichenberg could have been just depth. You know what I'm saying? And so I would have really loved that. And what happened was Lyle Collins went to the Bengals. And even Amari Cooper's name was in there, and it could have been like a trade, Amari Cooper and Lyle Collins. You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Rubber hits the road, and we get Teron Armstead. Lyle Collins goes to Cincinnati and gets hurt. And Kadeem is good for this. Kadeem is good for that. Well, he would have got hurt if he came to us. And I don't think like that because you don't know the turf he got hurt on, the game he got hurt at, the situation. So I'm not one of those, well, if he got hurt there, he would have got hurt here type things. But I suppose you brought it up because he was released today from Cincinnati.
Yeah, so the Bengals released Lyle Collins on Tuesday, and I think I sent the tweet to yourself and a few others on DraftKings, Jason Lee from the Dolphin UK podcast, the Dolphins UK WhatsApp group. And my reason behind sending that is, and again, it kind of falls back to, the friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, and him having a great game against the Chargers. The Dolphins' offensive line isn't perfect. The Dolphins still need to upgrade, like we said in the last episode, in at least one position, and that at least one position is center. I still think the Dolphins need to go and find himself a center. Lyle Collins coming off pup list, a injury-ridden time in Cincinnati. Are you interested in bringing in Lyle Collins at the very least a workout, seeing where he is himself, if he can offer anything, or do you just say, you know what, Austin Jackson is the answer at right tackle. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Isaiah Wynns is on a depth chart as starter at left guard, so I take it Liam Eichenberg as a backup right tackle, whatever it is. What would you bring in Lyle Collins is basically my question.
So when is the starting left guard now? And Eichenberg lost his job. And I'm gonna use Chris Greer's words, you have to do your due diligence. You know what I'm saying? Now, what I don't know as a fan, as a mere spectator of the sport, I don't know the injury history, the personal history. I don't have investigators looking at free agents to know all of the behind the scenes stuff about Lyle Collins. But I gotta imagine that the Dolphins do. And we passed on him once. I'm not sure if we passed on him because of money, you know what I'm saying? Or if we passed on him because we just don't want him in Miami. The front office doesn't want him in Miami. So for Charlie Touche, yeah, I want to look at him. I want to bring him in. Like, any is plenty right now. Any help is plenty help. You know what I'm saying? And we need it. So for sure, I'm bringing him in. And like, yo, you could put him on this just one season. Like, yo, it's not gonna hurt nothing. You feel me? Unless y'all trying to talk about Jonathan Taylor, which I'll bring up in a second. But like, how many people can you like? It's not gonna hurt us to bring him in this year for depth and then let him go in the offseason. But if the Dolphins already know that that's not what they want, or that is what they want, then only they have the answer to that. What you think? Check your text, by the way, Kadeem. But go ahead.
It's funny how Lyle Collins is available, and even though friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, had himself a good to great game against the Chargers. There's, stills and clips of him pancaking Joey Bosa and all that kind of stuff. I still think, the Dolphins have to look at anyone who becomes available because it's a long season. Austin Jackson has picked up injuries in the past. And the last thing we want to do is, you know, hindsight is a wonderful thing. The last thing we want to do is Austin Jackson picks up an injury, and then you're down one offensive lineman, and all of a sudden it's like, we could have really used Collins, and I don't like his recent injury history. But I also think sometimes you get someone in the building and things just magically get better. And I think having that kind of versatility on the offensive line, that kind of experience, and the iron sharpens iron mentality, if you can get Collins on a cheap deal, as long as the medical works out okay, then I think it's something we should, at the very least, look at.
Speaking of injuries, I don't know how we made it into the episode, 10 minutes into the episode, and didn't talk about the Aaron Rodgers season-ending Achilles injury that happened Monday night on the Monday Night Football game against the Buffalo Bills. And everything is coming back now that we just talked about injuries. I don't know what type of human someone is if they make fun of someone getting hurt. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm not cut from that cloth. I you know what I'm saying? There's people out there that they're entitled to say and do and feel whatever they want. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not like sitting here saying, "Oh, you're a bad person." I have my opinion. I'll keep to myself about those type of people. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Like when I seen Aaron Rodgers go down, and he stood up and he just looked to the sideline like, "You got to be kidding me." And then he sat back down, fell down. I was hoping, all right, this is nothing. You know what I'm saying? And then once the cart came out and the limp, I'm like, nah, he's not coming back this game. Off the limp, I was like, he's not coming back this game. And I thought it was a minimum of 3 weeks. I like that limp is significant enough to like, yo, you're not coming back for at least 3 games. I didn't like it, bro. I'm like, dang, bro. Like, one, I like Aaron Rodgers. I really like Aaron Rodgers. You know what I'm saying? And he's just like the person is really, it's fun to follow his story. You know what I'm saying? And he says what he wants. Came out in the media and says stuff about Green Bay at Green Bay's conference. Why he's still on Green Bay? I like, yo, we need more of this in the world. So I don't ever want to see anyone get hurt, whether I like that person or not. I especially don't want to see someone get hurt in a game where, you know, it's our division, and now we got to hear, oh well, it's only this happened because this and this happened. I'm not trying to hear none of that. You know what I'm saying? And lastly, yo, I'm a human, bro. I have a heart. Like, yo, I don't want to see that for nobody. So everybody on the internet, bro, and this is why I don't be on the internet like that, kidding. For everybody on the internet that's making light and making fun of this, bro, that y'all, I don't know, man. Like, that's crazy. It's just crazy to me. And then, you know, those same people would be like, well, y'all shouldn't have said nothing when Tua got hurt. And even those people were they still out of pocket. They still got memes that make fun of Tua and stuff like that. But it's just crazy the world we live in. Like, people have no compassion, and it's wild to me. But if you haven't heard the news yet, not sure what rock you're living under, Aaron Rodgers is out for the season. And somehow, some way, the Jets still beat Buffalo. And someone on this podcast said, I cannot wait for Aaron Rodgers to come to the Jets because they're going to split with Buffalo, and that's going to help out the Dolphins. Someone said this on this podcast, but here we are.
It's funny how Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, potentially could split with Buffalo and played like 4 snaps. Like, that's like the fact, like that's just insane. But no, it's yeah, I don't want to see Aaron Rodgers get hurt. I don't want for a number of reasons. I don't care what team you play for. I'm not going to wish injury upon anyone because like that's someone's career. Like I don't care if you're 39, 19, 29. What you're potentially one injury away from the end of your career. Aaron Rodgers make the switch from Green Bay to the Paper Plains and might never play football again because at 39, turning 40 in December,
Yep.
coming off an Achilles injury, yo, that's difficult for most people. I have a feeling, and not a strong feeling, but he might return next year. It's like I'm going out on my sword. I'm not going out to injury. Like I'm not doing that. I wasn't privy to watch Dan Marino play. A lot of Dolphins fans saying Marino in his early 30s got an Achilles injury was not the same.
He was never the same, bro.
And
He was never the same.
medical science has evolved so much since then. But there's some injuries that just it takes a lot out of you. And when the body doesn't heal as fast when you're 39 as when you're 19 and all that kind of stuff. Also, for the competitivity, if that's even a word, of the NFL, competitivity, is that a word?
Competition.
Doesn't sound right. For the you guys know what I'm saying. Let me know in the comments if that's a word.
Competitive nature.
There we go. For the and I'm going to be a journalist.
Competitivity.
But no, what I'm thinking of it. I'm thinking of it. If I'm wrong, I'm going to be wrong to the end. For the competitivity of the AFC East, the AFC in general, and the NFL, it would have been great to watch Tua against Tua and the Dolphins against Aaron Rodgers and the Paper Planes, and watch Tua sweep the Jets as he always does, and then there's no asterisk next to the Dolphins winning the AFC East. Oh, but Aaron Rodgers wasn't around, so they had to play you don't want to see that. So yeah, I'm not one to laugh at someone else's pain. I know people like you said that were going, well, they started it by saying this about tourists, like, well, then just be the bigger man or the bigger woman, like just be like, yo, it was out of order what you done. I'm not going to retaliate the same way. And
yeah, listen, this is not the Justin Herbert conversation. This is not, oh, they did it the tour. You know what I'm saying? This is not that. The Justin Herbert conversation is a whole fan base laughing at us because we didn't take their quarterback. Why are you laughing at us because we didn't take y'all quarterback, the quarterback that y'all wanted? So that's a little different. So yeah, I don't mind Dolphin fans chirping back at Chargers fans when they talk about, oh, well, why can't we just say both quarterbacks are good? Nah, because when we try to say that, y'all wasn't trying to hear it. So now y'all got to feel it now. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little different. But just to put a button on this Aaron Rodgers thing, bro he was in the game 4 plays. Handed the ball off once, dropped back 3 times. All 3 times he was on the ground. For anybody who says, oh, if we had Aaron Rodgers, it would have been different, I doubt it, because there's no way he was going to drop back in 45 times a game behind that O-line, and then y'all think y'all was going to do something, and he hit the ground every single time. It's just not going to happen. It wasn't going to happen. It's unfortunate, but just to pivot just a little bit, what's up with Glitch Allen? That boy Glitch, hey, I'm telling you, when the game is on the line and Josh Allen is in like a 1-score game, well, just watch what happens. That's all I said, bro. Just watch what happens when Josh Allen gets a 1-score game. The man doesn't function right, bro. And I need to start hearing people acknowledge this. I need to start hearing it. I need to start hearing like, oh, Josh Allen got some Jay Cutler in him. You know what I'm saying? Like all the strong arm, all the big sculpture dude. Look, he's just, he can do what he wants. You know what I'm saying? Takes all the hits. Jim Brown at running back, at quarterback. Yo, none of that don't mean anything. None of that means nothing without W's. And I said this before, Kadeem, I'm not on social media much, but I am on Twitter when it's football season a little bit. And I had a tweet, bro. And I said, yo, you can keep the strong arm and the sexy quarterback and all the turnovers and give me the accuracy and the clutch gene straight up. And that's what we got into, the accuracy, the clutch gene. And I'm so glad I brought that up because there was a play to Braxton Berrios where Tua was rolling out to his left, which is his strong side, but he was on the run and he threw it to Braxton Berrios. And this was the second time, maybe third time in 4 seasons now, where I was like, yo, I can see like what people say, yo, he don't gun it in there. Like, yeah, all right, he don't gun it in there, but he doesn't always need to gun it in there, right? That's where his anticipation comes in at. But this one was a necessary, yo, I need you to fit this one in there. And he still didn't gun it in there, but it was still the perfect pass. And the only other player bringing this full circle that I seen make that play rolling, well, it was to Tua's left, and that person was rolling to the left as well, but he was a right-handed quarterback. And I was like, yo, that was the nicest pass, was Aaron Rodgers. I want to kind of say it was like against the Cowboys. Rolling to his left, fitted in there, tight window Tua. I'm like, yo, I understand what people saying about the strength of the arm, but you cannot tell me that was not a perfect pass where it needed to be, got it done, first down, saved the game, all the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to Josh Allen, y'all can have it. And shout out to Sherrod Steve, hit me in my phone last night. Buffalo's Super Bowl window's closed. It's not even closing no more. It's closed. Y'all done. Y'all grits. It is what it is. Can't wait.
I would be very interested to see how essentially both teams who played on Monday night kind of, I guess, bounce back. And again, this is a go time Dolphins. We will get to Dolphin talk and stuff like that. But
I mean, it's
yeah,
AFC. It's very relevant.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But I saw a lot of people on social media, because I'm on social media a lot more. I don't tweet as much, I guess. Kind of saying that Josh Allen has kind of regressed back to like 2018 Josh Allen before he made that like mental rise and stuff like that. So yeah, I'll be very interested to see if there's kind of like the era of Superman Josh Allen's kind of over now. Let's try and get back to some basics, because these turnovers are costing us too much. I'm very interested to see. I assume the Jets will lean even more heavily on this defense, which no one's going to say it's 85 Bears. Like let's not be stupid right now. But this defense is going to have to carry. You would assume have to carry this team going forward, because Zach Wilson is still Zach Wilson. He hasn't magically become Aaron Rodgers overnight. And
hold on. To be fair, he hasn't become Aaron Rodgers. And yes, he's Zach Wilson, but we don't know how much he learned behind Aaron Rodgers. To be fair, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm that dude that Tua didn't have weapons. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when Zach Wilson came, I was like, Zach Wilson didn't have weapons. You know what I'm saying? So, and I had to be fair, like, yo, I don't know what Zach Wilson is until he came out last year and then wet the bed. So I'm like, all right, he's trash. But now it's a whole new. I have to reassess. You know what I'm saying? We got to reassess all over again. So here goes Zach. Zach Wilson has it's a clean slate for Zach Wilson this year.
It is, but I'm saying, like, what weapons does he have that he didn't have last year?
He didn't have Garrett Wilson his rookie year.
No, but I'm saying, but Zach Wilson had him last year, didn't he?
Right. That was the first year I had to properly assess him. I couldn't assess his rookie year. So I had to, and then when I assessed him, he was trash. I like, oh yeah, you're trash. You know what I'm saying? So now this is his third year, sitting first year behind Aaron Rodgers, third year in the game. Let's see if you learn something, bro. Young man, you lost your job. Like, I'm a fair man, Kadeem. I'm fair.
I'm not saying like he sat behind Aaron Rodgers for like all of 6 weeks. Let's be honest. Like, it's not like he had a full year to really properly like thing. He sat behind him for 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Oh yeah. He had an off season, but I'm saying there's a difference between friend of the podcast, Miles Gaskin, having an entire season sitting and learning, and
I agree.
Zach Wilson having an off season. And
I agree, Kadeem. I'm just saying, this just lets you know I'm a fair man. That's all. I'm fair. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I think he's still going to wet the bed, but I'm going to give him his opportunity to wet the bed and to end it and talk about what we're about to talk about. Yo, Josh Allen. I was going to say something. Yo, you remember when the AFC West was supposed to be the best division in football, and then it was trash last year? AFC West, Carr, Russell Wilson, the Chiefs, Herbert, and then it was trash. Are we going to get that this year? You know what I'm saying? We got the Jets out of there now. The Patriots look pretty good, but the Bills losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I don't care what anybody say. A ring is a ring. We're going to get ours, and it is what it is. No one's talking about KC's ring when they played in that trash AFC West last year. Don't talk about us when the Jets and the Bills wet the bed.
No, it will be interesting. Someone who didn't wet the bed, and we mentioned it earlier, but we kind of delve into it deeper at the moment, or going forward, basically. Before we delve into it deeper, once again, comment on the video, let us know your thoughts on what you think so far. Like the video, it does wonders for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Share the video to your friends and families and across your social media. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, which we now call X, but will forever call Twitter. And then so we have a Patreon there. It's in the description. As I hit my mic, it's in the link. Shout out to all our patrons so far. Yeah, I can't plug it any more than I'm doing right now. So if you are feeling generous, everything I just said is, going out of your way, and we generally do appreciate that. So
Straight up.
yeah. So Tua last year was in the MVP conversation. Some people didn't take him seriously because of what his past performances had shown, ignoring the context around the performances. But Tua got injured. We all know what happened. Tua comes out this year, game one, and as we mentioned, he's now the joint favorite to be MVP this year. Alongside that, Tyreek Hill for the past 2 seasons, last season and this summer basically, had been talking about being the first 2,000-yard receiver. And Tyreek Hill put up, 215 yards roundabout on Sunday against the Chargers. And he is now, I believe, the favorite to win the Offensive Player of the Year. So the Dolphins in their QB1 and wide receiver one have the current, at least, joint favorites to be MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. Charlie Touche, what do you make of that? I know the answer to the second question, but I'll ask it anyway. Are you surprised?
No surprise at all. Yeah, you didn't have to ask, because this whole podcast been since 2020 said this is it. He's the best thing since Dan Marino. Like I that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gonna be nice. He's gonna get a statue. Dan Marino got a statue. Tua's gonna get a statue. And I find it so funny, and I think it's cool because everybody who listens to the podcast, well, not everybody, but people who listen to the podcast, I'm sure, are probably like, man, I'm done with Charlie, bro. That'll be tripping. He just be saying some stuff, and then it be coming into fruition. Tua's a top 10 quarterback. Next year, Tua's a top 10 quarterback. Tua's the second best quarterback in the NFL. As of week one, Tua's the second best quarterback in the NFL. I'm just saying, like, you can't say Josh Allen, Burrow, or whoever else you got in front of Tua look better than Tua, other than, and I can't even say Patrick Mahomes look better, but we know Mahomes is better. You know what I'm saying? So as of right now, I'm batting, I don't want to say 1,000, but my batting average is looking really good right now when it comes to Tua. So just know we're going to get fitted for our rings, Kadeem, and we're going to the Super Bowl. So yeah, no, it's not a surprise. And it's crazy because there's a chance Tua is MVP and Tyreek Hill is Offensive Player of the Year. But I think the media would try to give MVP to Tyreek Hill. And I'll let you go first. Well, not first, but I'll let you go before I tell you what I think, how I think Tua can win MVP. And if Tyreek Hill wins MVP, how I think that happened. But yeah, go ahead.
So obviously there's only been one game played, and all the awards are up for grabs. One award which is basically already done, signed, sold, and delivered, is the Damar Hamlin Comeback Player of the Year. Like that's already that is Damar Hamlin's. Like,
I thought so, Kadeem, but he ain't play a game yet. I'm just saying, how many games does he have to play to get Comeback Player of the Year? You know what I'm saying?
I think he has to play one, and I think
one game and he gets Comeback Player of the Year.
I think it's the story. Like the fact that he makes it back onto the field and plays the game is like, you know what?
No, I agree. I agree with a lot of that, but I don't know. You can win Comeback Player of the Year and only play 4 games.
But the point I'm making with that is that to kind of follow on from what you're saying, if they do try and give right, the Dolphins at the bare minimum make the playoffs, win a playoff game. Tua plays 16 games, and he plays 16 games because the 17th he's sat because the Dolphins have the first seed already wrapped up.
I like it. That's the type of talk I need to start hearing. Let's go, Kadeem. Give it to me.
So he has a full healthy season, plays amazing. Dolphins win the AFC East, all the good stuff. That is a comeback player of the year story in itself, given that there were people, not the Dolphins, but there were people saying that Tua should retire.
They retired that boy. They retired him.
And it's like it doesn't become a a mud throwing match at the very least. But players have picked up concussions this weekend, and there's been no talk about retirement. So that's a whole other issue. But yeah, Tua has that kind of season. I think there'll be some people that'll be like, well, give Tua the comeback player of the year and give Tyreek Hill MVP because he just broke the 2,000 yards record, and that is something which is like, oh my days. I believe I don't know off the top of my head, and I will fact check in a sec. The MVP is basically the best quarterback award. Like no one wins.
It is.
No one wins MVP unless you're a quarterback. Like it's just
Cooper Kupp broke, like won the Triple Crown. I think most touchdowns, most yards, and most receptions didn't get MVP.
Like Aaron Donald, for all he's done, hasn't sniffed an MVP. Like it is a Bosa. Someone can break the NFL sack record. It's the MVP still going to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So it will be very difficult to see Tyreek Hill win MVP unless he passes for or unless he gets like 2,500 yards. Like it's got to be insane. And even then, they will probably find a quarterback to give MVP to. So with all that being said, with Damar Hamlin winning comeback, and in this scenario, Damar Hamlin wins comeback player of the year, Tua probably wins MVP, especially if the Dolphins get the 1 seed because he's had a better season, or he's put his team in a better position than Kansas City are in with Patrick Mahomes. And yeah, Tyreek Hill wins offensive player of the year simply because he's not going to win MVP. And it's ridiculous that we can sit here and go, that is the case, I guess. But listen, no one's going to be batting an eyelid if Tua wins MVP and Tyreek Hill wins offensive player of the year. Like that would just be amazing.
Here's the way Tyreek Hill can win MVP. Tyreek Hill goes for over 2,000 yards. It could just be 2,000. 2,000 yards, 115 receptions, and 8 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle goes for 75 receptions and 800 yards, and Tua Tagovailoa goes for 3,800 yards passing. That says, Tyreek Hill kind of carried y'all. Tua just delivered the ball to him. It kind of says that. But here's how Tua can win MVP if Tyreek Hill has 2,000 yards passing. Receiving, my fault. Tyreek Hill has 2,000 yards receiving, 115 receptions, 8 touchdowns. Waddle has 90 receptions, 1,200 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. And Tua has 4,600 yards passing. That says Tua did his thing. You know what I'm saying? And it also says he had help to get him there as well, which is not a bad thing. So the first ever quarterback to get a receiver over 2,000 yards and throw for, who knows, it's going to be all kind of crazy records if that happens. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it could be done. It's week 2. I love to talk, you know what I'm saying? And we're in the NFL now. We're talking playoff implications in week 1 because these are the teams that's going to be in the wild card because the AFC is so deep. So I'm cool, man. Like we're not afraid to talk about Super Bowls. Shout out to Tua. You know what I'm saying? Bro, when you have a quarterback, Kadeem, where it's 2 minutes and 9 seconds left in the first half, you're on the 47-yard line of the opponent. They have all of their timeouts and a 2-minute warning, and it's 4th and 7. This says, yo, if you give them the ball now, matter of fact, you're down 14-10. If you give them the ball now, they get the ball with 4 timeouts in essence, score a touchdown, go up 11, and get the ball at half. This game is going to get out of hand. But you still go for it on 4th down within that situation. That says you trust your quarterback, bro. If that doesn't say you trust your quarterback, I don't know what does. And that's what we got.
There was. I said it on the Fins Nation UK podcast as well. There were so many instances where, that situation. There's what 12 seconds left from the 25. Yo, we're gonna throw the ball downfield, and even the Dolphins lent on the run a bit at the beginning. The game never got out of hand, so the Dolphins didn't need to stop running the ball. But they're like, "Yo, this is Tua's game now." Like something just clicked. It was like, "Yo, this is Tua's game. Tua's going to be the one to, to win us this game." Essentially, I said it on Monday. I'll say it again now. I don't think it's sustainable. I think you do need to hand the ball off quite a few times. It would help if there's a Jonathan Taylor back there, and we'll get to him at some point. But yeah, and you know what? Kind of take it back to the Rodgers Jets thing, paper planes thing. Also shout out to Philip Workman, who calls the Jets head coach Robert Salad. Going with that going forward, 100% going with that going forward. So shout out to Philip.
The paper planes coach Robert Salad.
Love it. Yeah, Dalvin Cook made the choice to go to the Jets to play with Aaron Rodgers. Now he's got Zach Wilson. Like, yo.
Not only Dalvin Cook chose the Jets, and again, we don't know what type of money the Dolphins are talking about. It could have been $2 million. You know what I'm saying? So get your money, but just know you got Zach Wilson and you're the second string running back over there because Breece Hall has arrived somehow. Like off a knee injury, he still beat you out. So I'm just saying, bro. I know the Chargers are mad. The Charger fans are mad because this is a fact now. No quarterback has ever put up that amount of yards against the Chargers in Chargers history. Tua put up the most amount of passing yards in franchise history against the Chargers.
I think he also threw the most amount. I don't think a Chargers quarterback has ever thrown for that amount either. So it's like Tua. It's like I'm like 99% sure that Tua went to SoFi Stadium and said, "No, listen. Not only am I going to show you how it's done, like your boys can't do this either." Like it's.
Hey, you remember Kadeem? You remember when I said Tua's worst game would still be better than all of these boys' worst games? Joe Burrow, Herbert, Josh Allen. Like Tua's their worst game is going to be way worse than Tua's worst game. And then their best game is not going to be Tua's best game. And when I said that, bro, I was laughed at, dog. Like people laughed at me, bro. People laughed at me. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy to me.
Before you float off because your head's getting so big now, I'm just going to pop a little prick in there and bring it back down to earth. What was your prediction for the Chargers Dolphins game?
I said we was going to lose.
Yeah, I thought so. I'm just saying. I
said we was going to lose.
I backed us to win. I'm
yeah. But look, but you got to fall on the sword. You know what I'm saying? I fell on the sword. I didn't make no excuses. I said we're going to be 12-5. And not only did I say we're going to be 12-5, I brought it down from 13-4. I like, 13-4, but I brought it down to 12-5. So if we won that game, it was going to really help our chances of getting the 12-5, not only the 12-5, but to win the division. And if I'm being honest with you, Kadeem, I'm sorry, the conference. You know what I'm saying? We're going to win the division. I said we were going to win the division already, but we can win the conference. Bro, I got to be honest with you, bro. Let's just think about this for a second. Let's bring up the Chiefs schedule. Y'all work with me for a second. Chiefs schedule, bro. Are we sure that the Chiefs are going to be the powerhouse that they always been? Because I thought Charlie Touche said something about the Chiefs taking a step back too. Like no one else wanted to say that, but this dude This man been on the money. Hold on.
Don't do
I
that.
thought Charlie Touche said something about
Don't
taking a
do
step
that.
back.
Because you said that the Chiefs will take a step back, but you still said they're going to be the Chiefs. Like
No, I said the Chiefs would take a step back this year, but taking a step back for the Chiefs is still winning 11 games. That's exactly what I said. So it's still winning double digits games. Bro, let's think about this for a second. Chiefs at Jaguars. Hey,
that can be a good game.
Jaguars can win that. 0-2 Chiefs. Chiefs, Bears at Chiefs. We'll give it to the Chiefs. Chiefs at Jets. All of a sudden, that looks real good. Chiefs at Vikings. Broncos at Chiefs. Chargers at Chiefs. Chiefs at Broncos. Dolphins, Chiefs in Germany. I'll be there. Eagles, Chiefs. Raiders, Chiefs. Green Bay, Chiefs. Shout out to Love. Bills, Chiefs. Patriots, Chiefs. Raiders, Chiefs. Bengals, Chiefs. Chargers, Chiefs. That don't sound like 13 games. That doesn't sound like 13 wins. I'm just saying it doesn't sound like 13 wins. But listen, bro, it's a long season. We got y'all locked in at Go Time Dolphins for Nostradamus. We're predicting things. You know what I'm saying? But look, a shout out to one of our affiliates. I don't want to say who said this, you know what I'm saying? But maybe if this person wants to come on and say it on the podcast, cool. But one of our affiliates said this, and I thought it was the dopest take. After the game, after we won, this person said, "Are we sure Mike McDaniel wants Jonathan Taylor? Are we sure that it's Mike McDaniel's idea to bring in Jonathan Taylor?"
This is why we do
GTD affiliate that said that, bro.
This is why we do Go Time Dolphins, because I'm not gonna basically. I was in the chat getting that exact question because I was going to ask it to you. I was going to ask you that question because I was like, is it before bonus time or after bonus time? So you've said it, but are we going to address it before bonus time or after bonus time?
Hey, we're going to go over the bonus time and figure out who is it from the Miami Dolphins that wants to bring in Jonathan Taylor. Because the way Mike McDaniel was throwing the ball around the yard, it doesn't look like it's him. But y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Alrighty.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
So, again, if you made it this far, guys, you know the drill. You know how it works. Share, like, subscribe, comment on the video, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Bebo, MySpace, High Five, Threads, Facebook, Bookface. Like, if there's a social media platform, just go over there and promote Go Time Dolphins. And then we have a Patreon. Sign up to the Patreon.
I think the Patreon won some money this week, didn't they? I think hey, come on over to the Patreon, cash out with us. You feel me? I think the arrow's going green. I don't know how much money we won, but we'll tally it up. And matter of fact, I gotta say this right now. As I bring up the line right now for the Dolphins versus New England, I gotta say this. I wish I said this earlier, but we gotta get this on wax. And everybody who is locked into our Patreon that's following the budget that we have, it's a $1,000 budget that we started the season with. The line for Miami Dolphins at New England is minus 142 right now. They are trying us. They are saying, and I don't know about this Miami thing yet, bro. Out of that budget today, not when this line goes up to 200. Today we're putting $400 down on Miami money line minus 142. So for the first time ever, the easy money pick of the week is being announced way before Friends Up Friday, and it is Miami money line minus 142. That is the live line. That's the line. That's the line we're taking. That's the easy money bet of the week. Like, I cannot believe that it's only minus 142.
So American money line minus 142. The UK decimal is 71, and the fraction is 70.42 over 1. I'm not a better person, but if you are, this makes a lot more sense to you. So the money line or the American money line is minus 1.42, correct?
Yep. And we're
And
taking
then
we're
the
taking we're cashing that out, bro. That's the easy money
and
bet of the week. That's the safest bet you could take.
so yeah, so if you're a UK listener, it's the decimal is 71 and the fraction is 70.42 over 1. So just to kind of like make sure everyone's on the same page and knows what they're looking for, depending on the country they're in. Um,
Jonathan
but
Taylor,
yeah,
Kadeem. Who wants this man to come to the Dolphins so bad? Because it doesn't look like it's Mike McDaniel.
do you think it's a reverse psychology for Mike McDaniel saying that I have to come out in these pass heavy sets because I don't have the running back that I want? Which is weird because the Dolphins ran the ball in the ground pretty well to start off with and then just got away from it. Um, or is it him kind of say so? Yeah, is it Mike McDaniel saying I don't have the running backs in order to basically run the ball more? Is it him saying, I've lost Jeff Wilson so far. I don't have Devon A Chain. I'm down to Raheem Mostert, Chris Brooks, and Savon Ahmed. And if I'm being completely honest, I can't afford down to lose someone else. So I'm going to be a lot more pass heavy because there were times where, and again, the Dolphins have a lot of motion, a lot of movement before the snaps and stuff. The running back, even if it was a running back, because like Tyreek Hill was back down there, Eric Ezukanma was back down there. But if it was a Raheem Mostert, before the snap, he was like, "Yo, just go, like just move. It's not going to you, so you can do whatever you want. I don't really care too much." Um, but yeah, Jonathan Taylor. What do you think? I still think Mike McDaniel does want Jonathan Taylor. I think the Dolphins are clearly serious about trying to get a running back, given all the guys they tried to sign over the offseason. And I wouldn't read too much into a very pass heavy game. I think the Dolphins will, I would like to think, find more balance and hopefully they can work out a deal with Jonathan Taylor. But what do you think?
I think it's Chris Greer. And Chris Greer kind of tipped his hand. He said, this is quote, when you build a team, you always look long term, short term. We're always trying to be aggressive, looking to be aggressive, but you got to be mindful. I think it's Chris Greer. And there's a chance we trade and you know, Mostert's not on the team next year. He's not on the contract for next year. Ahmed isn't on the contract on the year under contract for next year. Neither is Jeff Wilson Jr. You only have A Chain and Chris Brooks. We haven't even seen Chris Brooks in real time yet. So yeah, we were rumored to be interested in Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Dalvin Cook, now Jonathan Taylor. I don't think that's McDaniel no more. The way he's slung the ball around the yard, I don't think it's McDaniel. I think it's Chris Greer doing his job, saying, "Yo, we need a running back, and I want a long-term fix at running back. So let me go get a stud running back, and I give it to you to do something with Mike. You know what I'm saying? And there's a chance McDrip gets Jonathan Taylor and only give him 12 touches because he got the MVP and offensive player of the year on his team, bro. So listen, I don't know, bro, but I know it will protect Tua because you don't want your quarterback to drop back 50 times a game. So it would definitely protect Tua. And then if you could get your O-line lock and step, then you could have a run game and a pass game.
I think also and that's not to say that defenses won't respect a Raheem Mostert, like whoever running back is back there. Jonathan Taylor is one hell of a decoy. And if teams really don't bother, like it's one of those situations where it might be a legit pass play, but Jonathan Taylor's back there. Tua sees this is like, we have to call a run play because like there's too much open field in front of me to not call a run play. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. there's still that's like so much is going to depend on one, how the Colts are doing over the first few weeks, how the Dolphins are doing, how Jonathan Taylor's looking health wise, and all that kind of stuff. Whether the Colts still want to try and move him on, but try and get the value. I'm not a betting person. I couldn't even tell you whether Jonathan Taylor is going to be a Dolphin by the time the trade window, closes. But hey, as podcasters, it's a conversation to have every single week, and it's an easy 5 minutes to fill. So listen, while he's still a Miami Colt, while he's still an Indianapolis Colt, and there's still rumors, I'm gonna address those rumors. We're gonna talk about it because what kind of Miami Dolphins podcasters would we be if we didn't discuss what everyone else was talking about?
I like it.
Oopsie.